Well, hello everybody. Johnny Hiland here in Franklin, Tennessee at Studio 19, here on behalf of Destroy All Guitars and Fat Jimmy Amplifiers. All right, everybody, let's get started with this beautiful Fat Jimmy amp. It's actually called the Fat Jac 15. Now, that's what I would call it, but then after reading Mike's description about it, it's actually the Fat J AC 15. Of course, hence the name. It reminds you of a Vox AC 15. Now, the tone of this amp, guys, is really cool because it definitely covers the AC 15 tone, you know, that real fat, mid-rangey kind of honky, Britishy kind of thing with a quack to it versus like the blackface thump, right? So if you... Now what I've done, guys, there's no reverb in this amp, so I'm adding the J-Rocket Boing spring reverb pedal to this amp. And the funny thing is, guys, it's front-loaded. So, you know, compared to the AC-15, this amp is much easier to run. And it's got two EL-84s in the back of it. And there's a lot of differences between, or more versatility, I would say, between this amp, the Fat Jimmy, and an original AC-15 by Vox. Now, let me show you the reason. Let's first take a look at the knob layout. First thing that we notice is there's a switch over here that's not your average bright switch. Now, like on an original AC-15, the bottom is like bright, middle is off, and then the top is like almost like a top boost, where it gives you an extra bit of high end. Now, for me, I like it at the bottom. Well, let's keep it in original AC-15 kind of mode here and leave it up. So we have volume, and then we have tone and bass. Then we have a chime control. And the chime control almost really is like a presence knob, and almost somewhat, it changes the mid frequencies and lowers the bass to me a little bit. Now that's just audibly from my ears speaking directly to you. Then we actually have the Jimmy knob, which all the way now, guys, this doesn't act like the standard Jimmy knob. All the way up is your normal AC-15 tone. And then, of course, you have a master knob at the end, which is really, really cool. Now, the reason I say this is so different than a normal AC-15 is for one reason. The Jimmy knob, if you bring it back, cleans the amp up, which you really can't do with an AC-15 the way you can with this. So let me show you kind of how that works in conjunction with the master volume. Check this out. Not very Fendery at all, guys, in this amp. More British sounding, for sure. And what's happening is I'm bringing the master back up more, lowering the Jimmy knob, and then, of course, bringing the volume back down. So what this is enabling me to do is clean up. So for all you chicken pickers out there, if you're wanting an AC-15 style tone, but you're wanting to have more cleanliness, this would be the amp for you. So I just want to play a little bit more, kind of mess around a little more with this master volume and bringing the Jimmy knob back. really great sounding amp, guys. If you really like the British tone and you like clean headroom, even though this guy's only 15 watts, it still packs a punch. So now let's go ahead and try this bad boy with humbuckers. All right, folks, now I've actually moved from my J86 Johnny Hiland model Kiesel to a Kiesel single cut with beryllium pickups in it. And I also want to mention to you guys, this little Fat Jac 15 is plugged into a Fat Jimmy single 12 cabinet right here. What an amazing little rig, guys. And the other thing I failed to mention is that if you are a guy who loves Vox AC-15s and you're a road musician, you can pack this bad boy right here in the overhead of an airplane and take it with you on a flight. Now that is pretty incredible right there, guys. That's the one major feature about Fat Jimmy that's just blown my mind, is the fact that he's made heads that are lightweight. I think this is like 18 pounds maybe. And you can take it on the plane, put it in the overhead, it fits just perfect. So pretty hard to beat that these days, guys. Instead of having to rely on backline, that's pretty hard to do, and I've done that for years. So to be able to take your own amp head on the plane, that's quite a feature right there. So actually, I think this actual Fat Jimmy cab is loaded with a Fat Jimmy speaker that actually has a C1270 in it. So Fat Jimmy does their own speakers, own cabinets, really cool. But look at the size of this entire rig, guys. Quite something. So now I've got some humbuckers plugged into this bad boy. Let's hear what she sounds like. Boy, that is pretty smoking right there, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, you can almost use this as a jazz amp as well. Pretty amazing. Or, if you're a Chet Atkins lover, you could also... Pretty nice. Now, one thing I will say about the responsiveness of this amp as well, whether I'm using single coils or humbuckers, is the responsiveness. Now, I know Fat Jimmy makes a lot of amps that kind of sound like old Fenders, because Mike Pascal, who builds these amps, has worked on Fenders for a number of years, whether they're tweeds or black faces. But you know, guys, he has built a winner with this amp right here, sounding like a true old Vox, but offering better components and more versatility in this amp. So now what I think I'm going to do is try this bad boy with some pedals. So the first thing I want to do is kick on a compressor. Oh yeah, that's giving me some sound now, isn't it, huh? What an incredible sound, guys. Now all I truly did there was crank the Fat Jimmy knob up and add a compression pedal. Now most compression pedals have tone knobs on them, so if you hear any extra high end, just lower your tone knob on your compressor or bring it down on the amp. Now what I'm going to do is try a distortion pedal with this bad girl and see how she sounds too. So we're going to try the Analog Alien bucket seat. Now one of the things I'll state right now, guys, I took the compression pedal off, added the Analog Alien bucket seat, And instantly, in the responsiveness and the feel of the tone, I could tell I was playing a British sounding amp. All based on the way the low ends sit in the mix, the way the mids felt as I was thumping on it, and just the way I was approaching hitting the guitar. Very, very responsive in the way that your guitar feels with this amp. Pretty incredible. Pretty incredible amp right here, guys, I must say. You know, one of the things that I really have to stress to you when looking at this little amp is the fact that you might not be able to take your Fat Jimmy 112 cab on the plane with you. You can just take the head. So you have to rely on backline cabinets, which is, you know, okay. You don't have to actually run a full amp and hope that it sounds good. You can take this little bad boy on the plane with you, run a backline cab. So what I want to do right now is plug this into my Avatar 212 cabinet, loaded with Celestion G12 Centuries in it. I'm sorry, Celestion G12 K100s in it. There we go. And just hear the difference. I'm actually curious to hear how this amp will sound with 212s. So we'll be right back. Well, now, folks, we've actually moved into the 212 Avatar cabinet, and I just want you to hear the tone of what this little head sounds like through a massive 212 cab. Check it out. Well, guys, as you can see, you could easily play any gig, whether you're using the 112 or the 212 cabinet. So, again, this has Celestion speakers in it, and this one has a Fat Jimmy speaker. Either way, guys, you could play a gig, truly. So, anyway, guys, this is Johnny Hiland saying that you definitely need to go visit my buddy Cliff at DestroyAllGuitars.com. Tell him old Johnny Hiland sent you, and tell him that you want to get into the Fat Jimmy amps Fat Jac 15 or the Fat J AC 15, whichever way you'd like to say it. But you know, guys, it's such a pleasure to be bringing these videos to you for Fat Jimmy Amplifiers and DestroyAllGuitars.com. Want to take this time to thank Steve Hardesty, Studio 19 right here in Franklin, Tennessee, Rick and Justin Bowman, and of course Cliff and everybody else, Mike Pascal, love you, brother. Thank you all so much for watching. God bless you, and pick up a Fat Jimmy amp today at DestroyAllGuitars.com. Cheers.